And we're off. Hello and welcome everyone to Paul H's Reflections on the 12 Steps. And this week coming live to you from Italy, Pescara in Italy, not San Francisco. And just to say to everyone, please remember that this is not an AA meeting. It's just one member's take on the exact nature of the wrong, as it refers to on page 64 of the book Alcoholics Anonymous, and the solution of the 12 steps. And also, just so you know, if you've never been here before, this meeting is being recorded. It will be uploaded later onto YouTube, and it's also being streamed live on Facebook. And just a reminder as well, if you're not being here, this is not an all-share meeting. It's a question or a Q&A for Paul H's take on the 12 steps. So we do a reading generally, and then Paul riffs on that, and then you can ask questions about that particular reading or what Paul spoke about, or anything to do with recovery in the 12 steps. For details on all of Paul's events, his story, his book Under Arrest, his books, his t-shirts and past event videos, check out his website at zenbitchslap.com. And Paul, today's reading, I did give you a bit of a heads up. It's if anyone's got their big book with them, today's reading is from a couple of paragraphs from page 274 of the 4th edition and 275 of the 4th edition, and from the chapter The Keys of the Kingdom. So I went to Akron and also to Cleveland, and I met more recovered alcoholics. I saw in these people a quality of peace and serenity that I knew I must have for myself. Not only were they at peace with themselves, but they were getting a kick out of life such as one seldom encounters, except in the very young. They seemed to have all the ingredients for successful living: philosophy, faith, a sense of humor. They could laugh at themselves, clear-cut objectives, appreciation, and most especially appreciation and sympathetic understanding for their fellow man. In learning to practice these steps in my daily living, I began to acquire faith and philosophy to live by. Whole new vistas were opened up for me, new avenues of experience to be explored, and life began to take on color and interest. In time, I found myself looking forward to each new day with pleasurable anticipation. AA is not a plan for recovery that can be finished and done with. It is a way of life, and the challenge contained in its principles is great enough to keep any human being striving for as long as he lives. We cannot outgrow this plan. As arrested alcoholics, we must have a program for living that allows for limitless expansion. There you go, Paul. So that's a start for 10. You might want to talk about that or anything in particular. So thanks very much. Over to you, mate.
Thanks, David, for the platform again. All alcoholic. Nice to see everyone. Let's say the keys of the kingdom, thank God, are not in your hands. Yeah, and I feel like the door's never locked anyway. So, yeah. Basically. So, can you hear me, Dave? Yeah. So, yeah, again, another person who's came into the program and took the suggestions and started to follow the principles as best they could, tries to describe or does describe the effects it's had on them, but the effects it's had in them in their life. Yeah. It's Italy, something's happening outside. There's an industrial pasta maker going off right now. Yeah.
We can hear you fine. We can hear you fine.
All right. Yeah. I'm not a real believer of striving all the time, tell you the truth. This is my own opinion about it. And I think everything has its season. Sometimes there's a lot of work to be done. Sometimes there's no work to be done. And it's nice to be able to know the difference, like in the serenity breath, you know? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and then to have the courage to, you know, deal with what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I feel the wisdom grows in us through the influence of this program, and the ability to enjoy peace of mind and all that stuff brings about a wisdom. And you know when a door is locked if you push it and it doesn't open, so you move to the next possibility. Yes. So I'm if I didn't have a memory I was an alcoholic, I wouldn't think I am an alcoholic right now. Yeah, really. If I didn't have memories of what it was like, I wouldn't have it in what it is like, because I feel like the problem doesn't exist for me anymore. And I don't think that's a unique condition. I think we can grow into that condition. And if you really want it to stabilize, hopefully you'll come to realize the problem doesn't exist as you, yeah, as you. Because to me, the root of the problem is a mental act of being identified as self, yeah. And if you're under the trance of self, and you're starting and you're looking at life from self, then we usually get caught in a very apt description, which is self trying to get out of self. Yeah. And so sometimes I feel a lot of striving is really reinforcing the bondage of self, not releasing us from the bondage of self, tell you the truth. So, yeah, I'm just happy to be here saying hello to people. You know, yeah. I've been, many of us have been placed in a position of neutrality, and it's very clear the way it was written. It shows you that you have very little to do with it at a certain point. Yeah, you're going to be placed in a position of neutrality. You are not going to scratch and claw yourself to a position of neutrality. Yeah, the problem will not exist for us. It's a miracle. It just happens. Exactly. Yeah. So the reliance on self is completely unreliable. And as you grow in the program, the obviousness of the unreliable of self is demonstrated by the effects we start experiencing. Yeah. Who the hell ever arrived at a place of neutrality bonded to self? You tell me. Yeah. So these aren't things that the self has acquired or has done itself into. There's been a loss of interest in self that allows these possibilities to become possible. Yeah, that's my humble experience in this journey. Yes, 33 years of it. I do not strive much at all right now. I don't. Yeah. I don't. My life isn't fueled by resentment. It isn't. Yeah, I'm not occupied by what's not happening. I'm here now in Italy, like I'm here now in Novato, and I'm here now on the Zoom. Yes. There's like an ever-present presence that's before all this machinations we get into. Yeah. By following the ping pong ball of the mental condition. Yes. I'm getting closer. Oh, I'm far away. It's just unbelievable. So, yeah, I feel where I am now is an incredible result of the program. Yeah. Yeah. I have the ability, not like I never had it. It was just an unsuspected ability of enjoying peace of mind. Yeah. Knowing the word serenity, stuff like that, and being of service. Yeah. Yeah. To be of service is more like it's a spirit in us. Yeah. It's doing service, all that, but to be of service, that's a real transformation. Yes. To be of service, a real transformation has occurred. Yeah. And as it says in our book, our attitude and outlook is going to change. That's a fundamental shift in what a person is called. Yeah. When your attitude and outlook changes, yeah, is unbelievable. And I feel a lot of us have been in that process and have arrived there and have been dwelling in that state of having a new attitude and outlook upon life. Yeah. And part of that is yes, you're available to do service, but you're of service. Yeah, it's just it's in your attitude and it's in your outlook now. It's not something you do from an old attitude and outlook. It's part of the new attitude and outlook. Yes. So maybe you do service at a point because you're in the old attitude and outlook of it's me, all about me, everything pertains to me. Yeah. But after a while, something shifts and now doing service continues, but you're of service, which is a shift in attitude and outlook. It's completely different than moving the chairs, yet still being on the Titanic. Yeah. It's like you jump ship. You're on another, you've got a whole nother captain and a whole nother boat that you're riding on. And you start having the ability to respond to being taken care of by the new employer. Yeah. By being taken care of by the new employer. It doesn't say employer, it says new employer, which implies there was an old employer. Yeah. To me, it's important to find out who or what was that old employer. Yeah. Because if you move to the new employer, still identified as the old employer, you're gonna probably get the same old shit. Yeah. No matter how many demonstrations will occur, you'll still think the sky is gonna fall. What an incredible way to live, you know? So, yeah, I'm really happy to be here to see some of us, and yeah, it's nice to connect to the tribe and to be supported because, you know, I need to hear the message and you need to carry it, and I need to carry it and you need to hear it. It's a beautiful symbiotic event that we're in. Yeah. And it's a pleasure to get into that circulation again. Yeah. I'm not speaking of AA here in Italy much with Amelia's family.
Yeah.
It has this, you know, it's not a primary topic here. So, well, you know, yeah. So it's So thanks, man, and
Thanks, Paul.
I really believe, you know, the keys to the kingdom. I think the door of the kingdom is unlocked. Really, it's always available at all times, right where we are, with no requirement necessary, except the bullshit ones the self comes up with. Yeah, and while you're under the tyranny of self, you got to jump its little obstacle course to get to where you already are. Yeah, I'm just done with that. And I mean completely done with that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So,
well, brilliant. Thanks, Paul. Well, you know, I think we're all really glad we've missed getting our fix of your reflections on the 12 steps. Certainly I have, and it's great to just like you say, be part of that fabric again. So I'm inviting people to raise your hands if you've got a question, as we do each week. So just raise your hand or let us know in chat if you want to say hello or ask me a question, or else that means there's a hand up. Oh my God, it's Lebowski. So
Paul from the UK.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Not bad.
Did you spill your dinner down your front? No. All right. Okay.
Face the wall, Paul. Face the wall.
Did you order one of those T-shirts as well, Paul? And they never arrived. Oh no. Okay. Okay. I won't mention that. So now this is going to be good. Mr. Lebowski's got a question for you. Over to you, James.
Okay, it's not going to be good.
Oh wow. Take it easy from him. He's in Italy. Take it. He's got jet lag, mate. Take it easy on him.
Yeah. No, I may have to jump off early, so I did just want a chance to say howdy. It's really been. I know what David's talking about. It's great to have your active presence in our lives, you know. And I've been listening to your videos for so many years, and it was only a little while ago that as they say, the penny dropped on that self can't get out of self, because I was in the midst of trying to get out of self in self, you know, and I was
Yeah.
like, wait, this is what he's talking about, you know.
Yeah.
I was artfully tracking the source of a fear, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
And
realized,
you caught yourself.
yes, I realize anything on this side is the ego's thought system, and anything I do over there is going to be, you know, in gang territory, so to speak. So it just sort of solved. You know, Dave's asked me if I had a question. I just don't know how to put that in a question, so I just wanted to put it in the form of a thank you. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. You know, repetition is helpful because
Mm.
you hear the same thing, but then, like you say, the penny drops. And basically, through the repetition, it has the effect of a pound. Yeah. It brings some weight to it because you've heard it many, many times. So then there's an echo in it when it drops, and it has some staying power. Yeah. That's the whole point. Is there's a very loud system that keeps barking away, and usually if you have an incredible moment, it's forgotten in about 5 or 10 minutes. Yes, so you need a repetition to have some new establishment. Yeah, it's not the point of it happening, it needs to get established in time. Yeah, sobriety needs to be established. Yeah, it has to have a foundation with principles, and it has to be lived. Yeah, or the shit will hit the fan and blow the house down, so to speak. So repetition is helpful. And you know, we were speaking, actually, some people came to see me here in this, and some Buddhist people. So we were talking about the word "my" in the English language, and how much weight is in that word. Yeah, and how much of that word's weight gets distributed to what comes after it. So my girlfriend, my money, my house changes everything about the house, girlfriend, and money. Yeah, that's us. That's us as an activity. Yeah, we are. You know, we can be used to make shit out of nothing. Yes, or we can be used to be able to enjoy peace of mind. It's the same energy. It's what's directing it. Yeah, where is that energy based, and where is that energy being directed from is going to change how the energy appears in our life. Yeah, that same faith that's driving us crazy, because the faith is in the thoughts that are having us, really. Yeah, that same faith directed in another way by another power brings an ease and comfort to our day. It's the same faith. Yeah, and I always recommend people read page 52 and 53 in We Agnostics, where basically Bill W. says you come to a conclusion that faith has had something to do with everything. Yeah, because it's true. That's really the power that we, as this little Paul or James action figure, represent. It's faith. Yeah, and most of us, through addiction or in addiction, there's a faith in the thought system, and that faith in the thought system produces a huge unease and irritability and restlessness, and we seek relief from the thought system, right, for the thought system, and we get caught in self, can't get out of self. Yeah, and we wonder why it's not working, and sometimes the striving is actually a disservice. It's reinforcing something that's not real. It's reinforcing that you're screwed when you're actually not. Yeah, maybe you're okay. Maybe that's the thing most people are the most scared of. Yeah, they want to be in the process of becoming okay, but they don't want to face up to the fact that maybe they are okay. Yeah, I don't mean the outsides and everything. I mean inherently, you are okay. Yeah, so you know, we had a beautiful example of it here. I think it was Jono at the time from the UK, where we were talking about the third step prayer, or the seventh step prayer. And then he had a hit, and he realized he was praying for the bondage of self to be relieved every day, and it was making him miss that it had already been relieved. Yeah, so he is praying for a future effect when he was in the effect right now, and the praying for the future effect was disguising that. That's not a rare occurrence. That's happening all the time. Yes? We believe we're in a condition that we're not in. We do quite a lot. And if you would lose interest in that condition you think you're in, you'd find that you're out of it. You would find that you're out of it. Yeah. And then that's like the end run around self can't get out of self. You stop. You stop, and let's see what happens. This happened with me on a broad level. I came into recovery, and truly most of my life strategy was trying to avoid shit. Yeah. And trying to make shit I thought was super real unreal. Yeah. I did, by forgetting it, avoiding it, getting loaded, everything like that. I come into AA, and suddenly all that shit I had been conveniently and expertly avoiding caught up to me. Yeah. And suddenly, for some reason, it was allowed to be as real as it was supposed to be, and it showed itself to be unreal. I was giving it all the reality it had by trying to get out of it all day. Yeah. Once I gave up and let it, I am a fraud. It won't kill you. You are an asshole. It won't kill you. Yeah. You're never going to get it. Great. You're never going to be loved. Okay. I mean, the boogeyman is you really in disguise. Yeah. So, yeah, I always like when you throw me a softball, James. Thank you. Yeah. It's like the guy that pitches at the home run derby. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said I get 9 homers in a row. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, James. Thanks for teeing that up really nicely to continue the sporting analogy. So there's some more questions coming up there for Paul, or else I'll have to ask one. So, which is always a lot of fun, which is probably softer using a foam ball or something. So I wanted to actually ask you, and this is a funny one, but I know the traditions, and I know that can be a tricky area for a lot of people, and it has been for me in the last sort of 18 months in particular. And there's been all sorts of stuff, and I just wanted to let how that relates to the steps. And I've heard you talk briefly about the traditions, and it's something that I can understand maybe why oftentimes we sort of steer clear of it. But how do the traditions work, do you think? And I mean, I know that's an open-ended question, but they sort of work at a macro and a micro level, and it's funny how they can be used. I think in sometimes they can be used to beat you over the head with stuff, but they can also be used to keep meetings going, from keeping us from murdering each other, I guess, as it's been said.
Yeah. It's like a broad diagram that can be placed over the organizational activities of a large community of recovered people. Yeah. So it's not about what's happening in one of the rooms on the boat. It's how the boat's doing. So, yeah. So my favorite tradition really is a loving presence is going to express itself through our group conscience. I feel that quite a lot. I feel that quite a lot at meetings. Yeah. So the other ones, I had broken the tradition without knowing it when I got swept away by doing interviews on the internet after Zen Bitch Slap was started, the website. So people from non-AA, from non-recovery groups got in touch with me, and I would do interviews, and then basically I had my anonymity was gone, but I realized the cat's out of the bag. I can't get it back in. So, yeah, do it. So, yeah. But I think the traditions are quite essential, obviously, but it's probably not the best platform here to do it.
No.
Because my primary point here was to look at the exact nature of the delusionary quality that we seem to live under, which is the act of being identified as an idea, an image, a mental image of you and I as a doer, a thinker, a feeler, a body, all like that. I'm more interested in that because other people are much better at detailing the traditions. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't hear over the years of recovery, I didn't hear anyone speaking about the exact nature of the wrong with the idea of it's a mental activity. So I feel like I'm not a specialist, but I have a specialty, so to speak. Yeah. I feel like so. I'd rather just take the time to do that and not branch out. Like I'm a cod salesman. I just want to sell the fish. What you do with the fish, the traditions, maybe. But I want to sell the fish to you, so to speak. I don't even want to. I want to give it to you, really. Yeah. So
you want you to fish. You want to give me the fishing rod to fish with.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there are so many people who are very, 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 very clear in recovery about a lot of things. I never ran into that clarity about the exact nature of the wrong. So that was basically what drove me to present this stuff. Yeah. I had it. Yeah. So
I guess that's what's important, isn't it?
I heard it was obsession with self, but self is a twofold activity. It's that which is observed, and it's also claiming to be the observer. Yeah, you have to see the twofoldness of it, or you'll be captured by self, can't get out of self. I was not hearing that. I wasn't. And so I feel AA is a pretty broad avenue. We can, put another line on it and have another road. Yeah. Have another lane, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever hear it? Did you ever hear it over your years?
Exactly what? About the exact nature of the wrong? Never. But I've been in a small kind of northern England. I got sober in northern England, and this is like a quantum leap of any kind of stuff. So really, it's YouTube really, and that's that's obviously broken loads of traditions because there's loads of non-duality 12-step stuff. But you're the one that your videos were the one that sort of led me to you. So, but it feels right for me, and it's my path, and that's that's AA's been part of my spiritual journey, not necessarily as that, not the other way around. AA has been the catalyst for me to find what I'm looking for, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
Yes, it gave you the possibility.
Yeah.
What greater gift is that? And it's not and there's no way, it's not limiting or defining what or how the possibilities will look. Hey, bro. Yeah. Does it? No. Yes, that's the beauty of it. It allows us to entertain possibilities, and it doesn't define or make it a strict regimen of what are possible and what isn't possible. That's the beauty of it. Yes. We don't have uniforms. We don't have pledges of allegiance. We don't have, we don't step in unison and shit like that.
But there's some that, and again, I don't want to go too far off course here, but there are some that do that, and it becomes a dogma, and it becomes stuff where they pin their personality to it, and they pin opinions to it, and all of a sudden you've got, a collective kind of religion going on, and I always find that's been sort of I'm probably going too far off the reservation here, but it seems to me,
But you can't get off the reservation. That's what's
No.
good. But
Yeah,
no,
okay.
you see,
Yeah.
everything, this is a great program. The problem is there's people in it. That's
Yeah.
always the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you introduce us,
Mm.
things get shifted. Don't you think that's quite curious? Aren't you curious
Yeah.
about that? Sort of
Well.
like, it's a great party, but when you get there, it sucks. You get, this is sort of,
That's always been the way. Yes.
yes. So this is
Yes.
what happens. But
Yeah.
the beauty of AA, its anarchistic way, it
Mm.
allows all that shit, and it keeps on keeping on, because the
Mm.
primary purpose isn't to, be us against them. It's to
Mm.
achieve sobriety and help other
Mm.
people to do it.
True.
Yeah. And that I
Mm.
feel. And then it says, what is the thing? One of the traditions is you can't go against AA, but there's no who says what against AA. You know what I mean?
Mm. Mm.
Basically, it's a pretty broad highway, and just like in the 11th step, people get stuck on prayer and meditation, but the intent is to improve one's conscious contact. That's the
Yes.
intent. They suggest prayer and meditation, but prayer meditation isn't the end all be all. The end all be all is to improve one's conscious contact. So if this Zoom is seemingly improving one's conscious contact, we're following the traditions. Yes. And we're following the steps.
Yep.
Yes. So
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. But of course, everyone, you put people in there, and I used to go to a group, never mind. I don't want to go there, but that's what happens. There can be, in an anonymous way of life, there can be cults of personality.
Yeah.
There can be.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
I've been lucky. I never really, I didn't get totally obsessed with the tree and missed the forest. The forest is to achieve sobriety and practice these principles in all our affairs. And if you can't, limit your affairs until you can. That's basically the drive. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Great. So thank you very much for that. And David Bitterman had his hand up. Is he gone? David, are you still here? No, he's not. Dave, I'm asking you to unmute. You had your hand up.
Hi, thank you, David. Can you
Over to
hear
you.
me?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
I might have to turn your camera off, but ask your question.
nice to see Jacob and John Kay and Stefan and everyone. Michael. Yes, very nice. All right.
Awesome.
Over to you, David.
Hi, Paul. How are you doing?
Oh, good.
Okay.
Nita.
I hope you're enjoying your travels. I may have to leave a few minutes early today. I've got to make a doctor's appointment, but I'm here for a little bit, and I wanted to ask, you were talking about that sort of the fundamental okayness, that we're so focused on the problem that we're overlooking the fact of inherently okay. And I wanted to ask you about, just if you had, I guess this is more something on the relative level, but we live in a world where sort of being ironically, being content or being okay can often be viewed with contention, right? Because there's so much striving around us. And I find, I wonder if you had any advice for sort of dealing with people close to us who are maybe sort of, consistently not okay, sort of that aren't content, and who also sometimes may view someone's contentment with I don't know if it's like resentment or contention or what it is, but because I can find that I'll catch myself making the fact that they have a problem my problem, right? Like almost like I'm not going to be okay until they're okay. And when I see that, I can release it. But it's easy when it's someone from a distance, but when it's family or spouse or kids or all these kind of things, when you're surrounded by that sort of energy, I was wondering if you could say anything about navigating that, or is it just not picking it up yourself?
I'm not in it now, so you know, you could have like an antiseptic answer, but it wouldn't, I'm not in the mix of any of like that at the moment. So
Sure.
if I had a chance and there was a door open, I'd go out, take a break, really. And then realize maybe there's a larger purpose instead of yours or theirs, and hold the space, so to speak. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I don't know, because a lot of times, which is great, I don't know shit until I need to know it. So right now I don't really need to know an answer to that because
Understand.
I'm just chilling in Pescara.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro.
I mean,
First, on page 63, one of the effects it describes is we're going to learn that we can face life successfully. So those situations are there for many of us, and I feel that if there's an honest reflection on it, you'll see that you're probably doing better than you used to do. So something is working, and you're being able to face life successfully. And if you can't practice these principles in all of your affairs, try to limit them if you can, and until you do. Yeah. This isn't like, I don't see it as the warrior's journey, it's like every turn there's like a cyclops or something you have to fight, I just figure I just avoid the cyclops and if I could. I don't think every challenge needs to be met. You can sort of, if you're outmatched, the surrender is the key, my feeling. Yeah. Maybe you're fucking outmatched, bro. Shit. Nothing wrong with that. You surrender to that idea, and then something else will come in through you, and it won't be your answer, which is probably a good answer. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm outmatched. That's been my salvation in this life. It has. AA gave me the permission to finally, truly admit that I'm outmatched. I'm completely beaten facing life on life's terms. I am. Yeah. And that hasn't changed. That surrender has become a surrender. Yeah. I'm outmatched. A lot of shit doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. Completely. Yeah. But it's above my pay scale. And so I just I pause when agitated, and I ask for direction from the new employer. Yeah, not from one of my workers, my co-workers. They may be just as insane as I am, but from the new employer. Yeah, yeah. All that stuff. See, I believe the solution is always available at all times. Yeah. I believe how the solution infiltrates our life is a progression in time. Yes. Yeah. So you get better at stuff. Yeah. You learn you could face life successfully, and therefore you expand on the principles that you apply to other situations. Yeah. So maybe in the beginning you weren't good. It wasn't healthy to go home for Thanksgiving. Now you've been to Thanksgiving for 12 years. That's facing life successfully. Don't you feel? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but that's why we have sponsors and stuff, because a lot of times we have blind spots and the sponsor doesn't concerning you. And they can say, hey, Paul, I don't think it's a good idea. You go home to New York and, go on a retreat with 8 of your cousins,
Yeah.
And I would go, oh yeah. And maybe you see it in a way and go, all right, you mean I can postpone that? Yeah, you can postpone it. It isn't either I go or I don't. No, you can postpone it, or yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's helpful.
And of course, people, especially in family dynamics, families come up with rigid ideas about us, yeah? Especially a crazy fucker as myself. It was years I gave up trying to convince my sister I had changed, you know? They always saw me as the fuck up that I'm not now. So what? Yeah. You know, am I that fuck up? No. So, but you know, is that me not being that dependent on how my sister sees me? No. So, you know, yeah, they're basically like their idea of me, success in my life is Paul's not arrested, still to this day. Yeah, that's what they're happy as, you know. Paul isn't going to jail. He isn't in jail, and he's not coming out of jail. That's fucking Paul's on a winning streak. Seriously. So yeah, so I'm not here to perform for others. I'm not a performing animal. Yeah, I'm here to hold the space for people that want to see me the same old way, and you know, and have these opportunities to speak to tribe members. Yeah. Yeah, because they've changed, they allow other people to change. Yeah, we've changed dramatically, so we allow other people to change dramatically. Some people we know haven't changed dramatically, and they don't want you to change dramatically. Yeah, just the way it goes. Yeah, that's why we don't marry cousins and shit. No, probably has
smart.
to do with you know.
Messed up energetic dynamics. Yeah.
Yes, of course. It's a negative energetic bonding pattern. There's a lot of lattice underneath every familial relationship. It's just the way it goes. Yeah, I mean, seriously. Yeah. So yeah.
That's helpful. No, I appreciate that.
And you
Thank
come
Paul.
and share with you here, and people here, maybe the ones you may want your family to understand, but you may not get it from them. So you have us, and we'll understand. Yeah. And if you don't have a fixed idea of who you want to understand, you'll get what you need, is being understood. Yes. This is the whole point of AA to me. I realized early on that it wasn't, you know, I was hoping for all this shit, but I had very concrete ideas of how it should look. So I was missing a lot of deliveries by life because I thought it should be in a package, and then I sent it back to sender when I was insane because I really needed it. Yeah. So then what happened? I lost my old ideas about how things should look. And you know what? A lot of things I really, really needed to meet, I have met. Yeah. Yeah. Because I didn't meet them with an idea. I was open, and I saw that I was getting exactly what I needed. Hallelujah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, bro, nice to see you, David. And
It's great to see you.
We'll be back soon, hopefully with weekly bitch slaps. Yeah, because I need a few myself. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate it. Enjoy your travels. Thank you.
Thanks, David. So we haven't got any more hands up, so I'm going to have to pick on somebody to say something. And I'm toying between Mickey and Daz, but I might go with Mickey. I'll let Daz off a little bit. Mickey, I was going to say, have you got anything you'd like to share with us or say anything today? I'm going to ask you to unmute.
No, I'm just enjoying the visit to Italy, and I dropped in late. I had a visit from one of my sponsees, and so I haven't been privileged to experience the whole conversation this morning, and so I feel a little bit behind. You know,
you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss
I'm kind of
Keys,
catching up.
Keys of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I did. I know. I know that I haven't missed what I'm supposed to hear.
That's right.
But there's always that fear of missing out. You know what? and so I will go back and listen to the recording to get those nuggets that I didn't experience at the beginning.
Honey, you've got a lifetime subscription to Nuggets. Don't worry.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah. It will be
Great.
raining. It'll be raining nuggets in Madeira today.
Excellent.
Hopefully made of gold. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I've got another question just to fill out. I think shall we go till 8:30? Is it 8:30 your time? So I think I guess you'd come from that when you spoke about those people who have come from a point of detachment, or I think you mentioned about people who come from what was your phrase? Like neutrality. They come from a position of neutrality, and I'm sort of was interested in that because I always find, for me, like when I stopped thinking with using my brain, or using HAL 9000 to self getting out of self, is the alternative to that love, or is it just dispassionate neutrality? Because some people could look at that and it could be quite cold when you have no that kind of Spock kind of outlook, like you're just totally logical. But are we talking about love here, or are we just talking about that kind of neutrality where you just observe and you witness?
Neutrality allows a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it allows a lot of stuff. So neutrality allows a lot of things to come through. It doesn't have a quality in and of itself. It's empty. That's why it allows a lot of stuff to come through. Yeah. Yes?
Yep.
Yeah. So don't worry about, do I look like I follow logic?
I'm just, let me see your ears. Yeah, just, anyway, that was a good filler. But the good news is that Nina has got a hand up, and I'm really excited for this. Thank you, Nina. I'm going to hand you over to Paul. There you go.
Hi, Paul. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good time. I wanted to just mention that the story that you told. I've listened to a lot of your talks, and they've helped me a lot. I think you know that. And things come in, and I literally feel like my brain has gotten reprogrammed in a really weird way, in a really good way. And a lot of, especially the references to the big book, and how you describe the big book with your understanding have really, really helped me. But one of the biggest things was how you talked about your experience of when you conceded to your innermost self. And you talked about coming face to face with a guy, and basically you're like, he's a bum, he's an alcoholic. And then you're like, he's looking at me. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but basically you came up against the truth, it seemed like, something like that.
Yeah.
So someone who I didn't know from anywhere said to me on Zoom, why don't we try reading more about alcoholism and put your name in it? So I read with my name, line by line, more about alcoholism. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, the truth, right? And then I felt all this rage in me, like I was mad, like, oh my God. Anyway, the point of it being, once I saw it and felt it and I knew it was true, I also remembered how you talked about that you were lucky because then you immediately went to a meeting and began living this design for living. And even though I had been around Alcoholics Anonymous, I took that very seriously. So I didn't know how to do it, right? But I kind of got in the middle of a lot of people and practices where I just kept, and I still on a very daily basis, stay very, very close to that feeling of powerlessness and I'm not in charge, and like this whole practice where how this design for living works with that understanding. Anyway, I just wanted to pass on to you that hit home for me and like affects how I am living and doing this. And now, ironically, people come to me and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm just going to tell you what I do because, you know what I mean? And then I pass that on. Anyway, I'm just, okay, that's all.
That's great, honey, because your seat assignment has changed. Yes, it has. You're not the one that needs guidance. You'll be, guidance will be coming through to you for others. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So the idea too, though, see, I didn't concede to my innermost self. There was a conceding to my innermost self. Paul wasn't brought into the conversation. I found out as the process went on that that period of not being sober was over. Really, I had no idea really what happened. I didn't. So, but something did, thank God. Yeah, and yeah, this is you know, I've watched you, Nina, and it's just been a pleasure because in your situation, you had to take the bull by the horn. You couldn't do it half measures. It wasn't going to work. Yeah, so you gotta. Some people have to inhabit the deep end of the pool. They can't just wade into the program. So you seem to have followed that needed direction, and there you go. Yeah, that's see, some people, it's gotta, in a way, it's gotta be like an all or nothing. You just can't, because the opposite currents are too strong. You'll get sucked into that fucking gravitational field. So you've got to really, you know, immerse yourself into stuff. And then your usefulness starts kicking in and you're put to use by the new employer. Yeah, to be available to others. That's awesome. Yeah, it's nice to watch the whole cocoon, caterpillar, butterfly thing go on in a Zoom. Yes. So I feel very privileged to watch a lot of you, a lot of us here in the Zoom. I'm very happy to be a part of your sobriety. I am. Incredible. I feel very privileged. Yeah, because what better way to demonstrate gratitude than to be used? Yeah, seriously. You know, used by that power that has brought, you know, struck you sober, yeah, giving you this possibility. I think that's the appropriate posture, is to, you know, be used. You're not useful, you're used. Usefulness will be another topic for another condition, but you're used. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And I will tell you this, I was completely powerless, like completely powerless to stop drinking. I mean, and since that day, it's gone. Like,
yes, that's
insane. That's like insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hallelujah. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's unbelievable. I mean, what could you imagine? You know, before 1935, there was no light to follow. Yeah, there wasn't. There was random people getting sober in some strange way or whatever, but there wasn't a standardized light that you could follow that could bring you into the condition you're in now, which is a daily reprieve from alcohol. It's fucking unbelievable. Yeah, really. So, yeah. And the thing is, this stuff boils down to attitude and outlook. Yeah, it does. Your practice isn't going to be a practice. It will be a way of life, and then it will be infused in your attitude and outlook. That's what happens. At one phase, it's a practice, let's say, because the old attitude and outlook is still reigning supreme. Yeah. But that doesn't last. recovery progresses and the shift occurs, and now your attitude and outlet is infused with what you used to practice. Yeah. So therefore your daily living is the practice. Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, you don't jump to that point, you practice to get to that point. Yeah. Yeah. You do inventories to get to a point where you don't do that many inventories anymore, because you've outgrown a lot of the anxiety and the resentments. So what's there to write about, really? Not much. Hallelujah. That's awesome. So yeah, this is they talked about the setting off into sobriety. They weren't describing 40 years of sobriety. They only had 4 years at the most, maybe. Yeah, the people that wrote the book. We're the ones who are writing the new chapters every day. Yeah, because the book is a living book. It didn't end up with 164 pages, whatever. We're the living of this process. Yeah, yeah. And the book and the AA way of life is big enough to hold all the growth that we exhibit. Yeah, all the other things we get into. AA is like it's a pot that gets bigger with the plant. Yes. Yeah. The pot grows with the plant growing. It doesn't stay rigid and arthritic, and the plant has to break it to grow out of it. No, it grows. So AA, people are practicing Buddhism. There's 12-step yoga. There's tons of shit going on. People are bringing shit into it. Hopefully not to replace AA, but to maybe illuminate it or bring another facet of light into it. Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah. You know, we have a thing. We have an idea that to me is more than an idea. It's a fact of non-duality. And I think we bring that into the program because that's part of my life. Yeah, it's not like a topic I had a curiosity about. It's the basic way I see things. So, and it doesn't rub up against AA. AA expands to fit these ideas. Because why? The main thing is to, achieve sobriety and practice these principles in all our affairs. Yes, and help other people achieve sobriety. Yeah, that's the gold standard, isn't it? I feel so. Yeah. Thanks, Nina. It's great to know you. I hope we meet someday. Great to know you through the Zooms. Same thing with Jacob and Rich and everyone else. Stefan. Yeah. Any other questions?
I'm getting off, but I think Jacob's got one. But Michael Stacey's going to be taking over, so I'll speak to you down the line, Paul. Thanks a lot, everyone.
All right, Dave.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
Jacob,
David. Thanks, David. Yeah, just hey, Paul. Yeah, so grateful for these continuous nuggets. There's this continuous recognition. It's really like a seeing feeling, and it's so beautiful. I see now why it's not just called heart, it's called heart mind. It's like there's a seeing and it's a feeling at the same time. And sometimes it's so beautiful, I fear my heart's gonna break. But also there's this knowledge that, or this understanding that if it breaks, it only opens wider. So yeah, I just want to say thank you, Paul, for this talk today. That you've clarified so many things for this action figure, and you've spoken through this action figure. Each time I feel I'm opening wider. Or should I say that I was already opened all the way?
Yeah,
Um,
they both
So
happen.
thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. You're a pleasure to know you. Yeah, and we'll meet
Yeah.
also, definitely. We'll meet live sometime, I hope. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jacob, you're, yeah, all of it. The Zoom, I've been touched by Zoom. I should get a T-shirt, touched by Zoom. Yeah, but nice to see you, Jacob. Anyone else? Mike, Stacy?
No, hey, Paul, Michael. Hey, no, there are no other questions. Really appreciate you being here today, and I hope you're enjoying your time with your significant other.
I live a life of meals. I go to lunch, to dinner, back to lunch, to dinner, then lunch to dinner, and then lunch to dinner. Yeah.
Well, keep up the great appetite.
Yes, I'm an anomaly here. I'm a non-gluten person. I walked in and I ate a lot of gluten the first 2 days. Didn't go well. So I arrived at pasta, no more pasta. Here's a lovely Amelia, here she is. We're at her brother's house and it's just, I've been very moved by how they've absorbed me into the family, and I'm in an immersion of Italian where I'm changing from Paul Hedderman to Pool Heddermano. That's they call Paul Pool and Heddermano. So yes. And I'm really just staying here because it's what's waiting me is dinner that's coming downstairs. No, they really treated me. I'm very, yeah. Amelia's lovely, and we're at a beach town. We're just about 2 blocks to the beach, and just it's great. Thank you, Michael. And I hope you know that closet door has been unlocked. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike. Don't let. Yeah. It's always good to see you, Michael. Yeah. And Joseph, there's Joseph from France. He's outside. What's going on, Joseph?
Everything is fine.
Oh,
Can
nice
you
to
hear
see
me?
you, Joseph.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Anyone else have a question? Oh, there's Nan. Always a pleasure, Nan. Nan's there's a bright light appearing as Nan. Yeah. And there's Kaiser. I'm gonna just say hello to everyone. Kaiser, so nice to see you. I hate to admit it, but I miss you. Yeah. There you go. I want to say hello to Paul. Nice to see you, Paul.
Thanks again, Paul. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Tommy, we'll be back. I don't know when. Just look at the website. We'll have another one. We're going to do a Saturday non-duality one at 1 o'clock Pacific time from here. Yeah. So we got Tommy from Ireland. He hasn't changed his skin color yet. So we got Ruby Rose from Wichita. Nice to see you, Ruby. Yes. Roman, closer than ever to Roman. Nice to see you, Roman.
Hi.
Yeah. We got Carl. There's Carl. Nice to see you. And Carl and his significant other. Yes. Nice to see you. We got Stefan on Having Never Left. That's an incredibly good quality. Yeah. John K. Always a pleasure, John. Nice to see you. Let's see, I missed, there's Maria. Nice to see you, Maria. Yes. Nina, as always. Roy B. Nice to see you, Roy. Rich A. Yeah. Mickey, as always, the matriarch of Madeira. Yes. The bearer of nuggets. Yeah. We got Jacob. Always a pleasure, Jacob. Yes. Kaiser again. We got Connor from Dublin. Thanks for dropping in, Connor. Then Nan, always thank you for the support, Nan. Holding the space. Very nice. Appreciate it. Michael S. Fantastic to see you. Oh, we got Benjamin. Benjamin. Nice to see you, Benjamin. Yes. Not doing any Zen day retreats now. All right, good. We got David Bitterman. David Bitterman. Stay with us, David. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Leah, always a pleasure, Leah. Back to the original position. Yes. Yeah. Joseph, a pleasure. And Ivan, it looks like Hoang Po to me.
Yeah, oh, I am a legion.
Nice to see you, Gio.
See you, that's always cool.
Yeah, good. Alex, always a pleasure. She looks like she's sitting by the pool in Hudson Valley, Beverly Hills. Yeah, nice. Let's see, who else is there? I think that's it. Hey, thanks everyone. We're gonna have one on Saturday if you're interested. And we'll try to see if we'll pull off another one. Yeah, before we go back. We'll see. It'll be on the website. So just take a look every once in a while and there'll be a meeting. Yeah, but Saturday for sure. But I think I wanted it at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that will be 10 p.m. here. So yes. Thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
See you. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.